Welcome back, focused learners. We are diving into something absolutely massive today. We are going to unpack a hidden cognitive blind spot that is, frankly, secretly sabotaging both your financial and your personal future. It's a glitch in human psychology that's so incredibly common, I guarantee you probably fell victim to it just this morning when you were thinking about your life plans. So I want you to genuinely take a second and picture this. Who will you be in exactly 10 years? Like, really think about it. What kind of house are you living in? What does your career look like? What do you actually care about? Most of us can picture that future self perfectly, right? We see this neat set of goals and a totally stable personality. But here's the hook. That person you're picturing, yeah, they don't exist. And honestly, they probably never will. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the absolute contradiction it shows. If I ask you to look back at who you were 10 years ago, you'd immediately recognize the messy, unpredictable path you took to get here. You had vastly different fears, totally different goals, different tastes. Your mindset evolved and your priorities shifted. We all easily acknowledge how much we've changed in the past. Yet, for some reason, when we look forward, we wrongly assume our personal evolution is just done. We think, sure, I changed a lot before, but who I am today, this is the final, finished version of me. Section 1. The End of History. So what is this called? It's known as the end of history illusion. It's exactly this psychological flaw where we clearly see how much we've evolved in the past, but we completely, totally underestimate how much we're going to change in the future. Drawing from the brilliant financial writer Morgan Housel, we learn that because of this illusion, we are constantly building these rigid, ironclad plans for a future version of ourselves that just won't exist. We literally lock ourselves into careers, 30-year mortgages, and expensive lifestyles based entirely on what the today version of us wants. And I absolutely love this quote from Housel. He says, "Imagining a goal is easy. Imagining that goal under real-life stress is something else entirely." This just completely anchors the illusion. Our present mindset fundamentally fails to predict the stress, the shifting desires, and the brand new priorities our future self will inevitably have to deal with. I mean, today you might say, oh, I'll never want kids, or I'm going to live super frugally forever. But 10 years from now, under totally different life stresses and new experiences, your desires are going to radically shift. Section 2. The Cost of Rigid Plans. Okay, let's dive into this. Just walk with me through this timeline for a second. Notice the stickman standing right in the middle. That's the present. Behind is the past, which, as we just agreed, was wildly unpredictable. And ahead is the future, which we incorrectly assume will just be the static, linear path of predictable gears turning perfectly. By assuming our future is just a neat, straightforward continuation of today, we end up making incredibly brittle financial plans. We literally don't leave any room for error, all because we assume we already know exactly what we're going to want. And this static assumption directly feeds into the financial blind spots, trapping us in what James Johnny calls the rat race. First up, we've got the ostrich effect. Burying our heads in the dirt to avoid negative bank statements because, well, we hate bad news. Second is hyperbolic discounting. This is where we weigh the heavy bricks of long-term security against the shiny diamond of a short-term reward, like buying a new car today. And finally, keeping up with the Joneses. It's like wearing an oversized crown just to impress people who, frankly, aren't even paying attention to us. Because we think our current desires are permanent, we trap ourselves in this endless cycle of short-term consumption instead of building flexible, long-term safety. And this brilliantly illustrates the core conflict here. On one side, we plan for static income, unchanging desires, perfect health, basically a neat, calm little spreadsheet. But on the other side is what actually happens, a chaotic storm of shifting goals, market crashes, unexpected medical bills, you name it. Here's the thing, your spreadsheet doesn't feel fear during an economic downturn, but you definitely do. The rigid neatness of our financial plans is just completely at odds with the chaotic, unpredictable reality of living a long human life. 78%. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the percentage of American workers, and yes, this includes those earning six-figure, high-wage salaries who are still living paycheck to paycheck. It's a shocking statistic, really, but it reveals exactly what happens when we inflate our lifestyle purely for our present ego. We consume everything we produce today, and we leave absolutely zero margin of safety for the unpredictable desires and the inevitable errors of our future self. Section 3. Masks and Present Performances. The brilliant philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche actually gave us this profound insight. He wrote, "Every profound spirit needs a mask." Now, what Nietzsche is pointing out here is that our current, seemingly permanent identity, the exact one we are so rigidly planning our entire future around, is often just a temporary performance. It's a mask crafted specifically to help us survive our past environments and our traumas. Simply put, behavior is just biography. People's rigid patterns are really just confessions of how they protect themselves. Take an obsessive need for control, for example, whether that's in our lives, our schedules, or our finances. We often think that's a sign of strength, right? But psychologically, it's actually a sign of fearing inner chaos. When our inner world feels completely disordered, we obsessively try to control the outer world to compensate. Contrast the loud, smiling mask of our curated performance with the dark, hidden reality underneath. We put on this rigid performance for society, desperately seeking absolute control just to feel safe. But the hidden reality? Well, it's often a fear of chaos, a feeling of emptiness, or a really desperate need for affection. If you base your entire 20-year life plan on the curated performance you're putting on right now, man, you are setting your future self up for a massive failure when that mask finally slips. Section 4. The power of moderation. Let's move to and see how this builds into an actual solution. Because it all comes down to this core philosophy. The highest form of wealth is controlling your own time. When you think about it, money, given time, grows into something organic and life-giving. This is the ultimate takeaway from all the financial and psychological data we've looked at today. The goal of saving money and planning for the future is not to buy more stuff to impress the Joneses. It's to buy the flexibility to adapt to whoever you might become. Money pays its absolute highest dividend when it gives you control over your own time. So how do we actually put this into action? We've got 4 crucial steps. Step 1, avoid extreme commitments. Don't lock yourself into a massive lifestyle that requires you to work a job you might absolutely hate 10 years from now. Step 2, build a wide margin for error. Just assume things will go wrong and your tastes will change. Step 3, aim for total moderation. Moderate your lifestyle, your savings, just avoid the extremes. And finally, step 4, practice radical self-forgiveness as you change your mind, because you will. If you combine financial moderation with behavioral flexibility, your plans will actually survive reality. I want to leave you with a final, provocative thought to ponder today. What mask are you wearing right now that your future self is going to have to take off? Stop assuming your personal evolution is finished. Embrace the unknown of who you are becoming. Build a flexible life with a massive margin for error, and give yourself the ultimate wealth of controlling your own time. Thank you so much for joining me on this Explainer Focused Learners. I'll see you in the next one.